Okay, so for the wiring, all we need is 5 female to male wires and the joystick module, obviously. So the first thing that we do is connect. You need to find the ground pin. It's all the way right here, so we're gonna connect this, and we need to connect it to the ground pin on the Arduino. So we find the ground is right here, and we connect it. And then the next thing that we do is connect the switch pin. It's all the way on the bottom to 2 on the Arduino. And then we connect the VRX and the VRY to 0 and 1 on the analog side pins. So connect this to VRX and connect it to the analog 0, and then connect the Y to analog 1. And then the last pin that we have is like the voltage pin. So we're just gonna connect that last pin, and then we're gonna connect it to the 5 volts pin on the Arduino, which is right next to the ground. And there we go, our wiring is done. Okay, so the first thing that we're gonna do is define the pins. So the first pin is the switch pin. So the switch pin basically tells us, like, if we press the button down, that's switch 0, and if we just leave it up, that's switch 1. And we connected that pin on the joystick to 2, so this is gonna equal 2. And the X just tells us the X coordinates. And this is gonna equal 0 since we connected it to the 0 analog pin. And the same goes for Y. We connected it to the first analog pin, so Y equals 1. And then in the void setup, we're basically gonna pin mode the SW as the input, and we're gonna digital write it as high. So pin mode SW as input, and digital write SW as high. And we also want the information that gets, like, we want it to display somewhere, and we want that to display in one of the serial ports on the Arduino module. So we're gonna do serial.begin 9600. There we go. Now we just have to print the information here. So we're gonna do serial.print switch. So this is for the switch information, colon, and then we want the actual information. We want to read it, or else if we just say to print the SW pin, it won't work. We have to say digital read the SW pin. So serial.print digital read SW. And now if we just leave, we could leave it like this, but then it will just say switch colon, and then it will start another line, but we don't want that. We want to go right next to the switch colon. So we're gonna do serial.print, and there you go. And this is basically the same thing for X and Y. So copy and paste, and copy and paste. There we go. Now I can switch this to X axis. And since we connected to the analog pin, we can't have digital read, we need analog read. Let me change that to X, change that to Y, Y axis. And yep, there you go. I think we're done. Oh, we also have to add a delay so it keep on doesn't like going too fast and like, spamming. And now there we go, and we can upload. Yep, everything's okay. Okay, so I uploaded the code into the Arduino. So now if we just click on the serial monitor right here, that shows us all the information. See, it shows us the switch, the x-axis, and the y-axis. So now if I use this and see if I press it down, changing the switch, it changes to 0. If I let it back go again, it changes to 1. Let's say I go down, it becomes 0. If I go up, it becomes 10,023. So as I move around, it changes. So yeah, that's how the analog joystick module works.